Discovered my wife's secret affair with her boss. During a work trip, now I'm divorcing her and raising our kids alone. I never thought I'd be writing something like this. But here I am, a 38-year-old man who thought his marriage to Anna, 36F, was solid. We've been married for 12 years with 2 kids, Sophie, 10, and Noah, 8. Up until a few weeks ago, I thought we were living a fairly happy life. Sure, we had ups and downs like any couple, but I never imagined I'd find myself in this situation. I work in IT and Anna works in marketing. We met during college, dated for a while, and got married right after we graduated. At first, everything was great. We were young, in love, and excited to build a life together. We bought a house, had our kids, and settled into what seemed like a good routine. Things started to change about a year ago. Anna began to act distant, spending more time on her phone and working late more often than usual. I chalked it up to the stress of her new promotion. She'd been putting in extra hours to prove herself, and I figured that was why she seemed distracted. I tried to be supportive, taking on more responsibility at home and with the kids, assuming it was just a temporary phase. But the distance only grew. Our conversations became superficial, mostly about the kids or logistics for the household. Intimacy became rare, and when it happened, it felt hollow. I tried talking to her about it a few times, but she always brushed it off, claiming she was exhausted from work. About a month ago, Anna told me she had to go on a 2-week work trip to Europe. She said it was a big opportunity to visit international offices and meet clients. 2 weeks seemed like a long time, but she insisted it was crucial for her career. I wanted to be supportive, so I didn't push back. But something felt off. The night before she left, I noticed her packing some dresses that didn't quite fit with a typical work trip. Cocktail dresses, even lingerie I hadn't seen before. When I asked her about it, she got defensive, saying she needed to be prepared for formal dinners. I let it go, not wanting to cause tension before she left. The first few days after she left were hectic. Managing work and the kids on my own wasn't easy, but I managed. Anna called every night, but the conversations were short. She always seemed to be in a rush, saying she had to go to another meeting or that she was exhausted. On the 4th night, my suspicions deepened. Anna called later than usual, and I could hear music and laughter in the background. When I asked about it, she quickly said she was at a work dinner and stepped out to call me. But something felt off. Her voice was slurred, as if she'd been drinking. The call ended abruptly, with her saying she had to go. That night, I couldn't shake the feeling that something was wrong. I knew I shouldn't have, but I checked our shared cloud account to look at her recent photos. What I found made my stomach drop. There were dozens of photos, but they weren't of work meetings or offices. They were pictures of Anna, dressed up in those fancy clothes, posing at various tourist spots in Paris. And she wasn't alone. There was a man with her, a tall, good-looking guy, probably in his mid-40s. In some photos, they were posing in front of famous landmarks, and in others, they were at romantic restaurants, sipping wine. And then, there it was, a selfie of them kissing in front of the Eiffel Tower. I spent the next hour going through that every photo, my hands shaking. It was undeniable. My wife was on a romantic getaway with another man. I didn't confront her right away. Part of me was still in shock, and part of me wanted to gather more evidence. I started looking through our phone records and credit card statements, and that's when I realized this wasn't a one-time thing. There were transactions for expensive dinners and hotel stays in our city going back months. This affair had been happening right under my nose. After some more digging, I figured out who the man was, Brian, her boss. I had met him a few times at company events. He was recently divorced and had a reputation for being a womanizer, but I never imagined he'd be involved with my wife. After a week of processing the information, I sent Anna a text with one of the photos and the message, "We need to talk." Her response was immediate. Panicked texts flooded in, begging me to hear her out, saying she could explain everything, and I didn't respond. Instead, I called her parents and told them what was happening. They were shocked and incredibly supportive. When Anna finally called, I let it go to voicemail. She left a tearful message full of apologies and excuses. She claimed that Brian had pressured her into the affair, that it was a huge mistake, and that she still loved me. But I didn't buy it. I spent the next few days focusing on the kids, trying to keep it together while consulting with a lawyer. The lawyer advised me to document everything and to stay in the house to avoid accusations of abandonment in the divorce proceedings. When Anna returned from her work trip, I arranged for the kids to stay with my parents for a few days. I didn't want them to witness what I knew would be an ugly confrontation. Anna walked into the house, trying to act like nothing was wrong. But when she saw the look on my face, she knew the game was up. "How long has this been going on?" I asked her, my voice surprisingly calm. She broke down immediately, confessing that the affair had been happening for 6 months. She explained how it started innocently, working late, flirtatious conversations, but escalated when Brian kissed her at a company party. She tried to justify it by saying she loved me and the kids, that she never meant for it to get this far, and that she made a terrible mistake. "I want a divorce," I said quietly. She begged me to reconsider, pleading for another chance, but I was done. The trust was gone, and I couldn't see a way back. I'd spent the last week preparing myself for this, and there was no going back. I packed a bag and left her sobbing on the couch, heading to my parents' place. Over the next few weeks, we worked out a temporary custody agreement where the kids would stay with me during the week and go to her on weekends. It was far from ideal, but it was a start. As for Brian, word got out about the affair, and he was forced to resign from the company. Last I heard, he moved out of state. Good riddance. It's been 3 months since I found out about the affair. The divorce proceedings are underway, and I'm doing my best to focus on the kids. Sophie and Noah are struggling to understand everything, and telling them was heartbreaking. Sophie asked if Mommy had a boyfriend, while Noah cried, asking if it was his fault. I reassured them as best I could, but it was a gut-wrenching moment. Work has been a challenge, but I've managed to take some time off to deal with everything. My family and friends have been supportive, helping me with the kids and making sure I don't fall into a pit of despair. I'll update again when things settle down or if there are any significant changes. Update 1. It's been about 3 months since my last post, and things have taken some unexpected turns. At first, Anna wanted to fix our marriage, begging for forgiveness and pleading that we go to counseling. But when she realized that I wasn't budging, she shifted gears and started fighting for more assets and custody of the kids. She's trying to argue that the affair was just a mistake and shouldn't overshadow her role as a devoted mother and wife. She's even accusing me of being emotionally distant, which is frustrating beyond belief. The house has become a major sticking point in the divorce. I've argued that since the kids live with me during the week, it would be best for their stability if I kept the house. But Anna's insisting that she needs it for when the kids stay with her. We're still in the middle of negotiating that. To make matters worse, Brian, yes, the same Brian she had the affair with, has caused more problems. A few weeks ago, he showed up at Anna's new apartment drunk and belligerent, accusing her of ruining his life because she didn't leave me for him. She had to call the police, and Brian was arrested for disorderly conduct. The incident shook Anna up, and she's since filed a restraining order against him. The kids are still having a tough time. Sophie's grades have dropped, and she's been acting out at school. Noah has become incredibly clingy, constantly asking if we're going to be a family again. It's heartbreaking, and I've decided to get both of them into therapy. We're still in the process of finalizing the divorce, and the stress is taking its toll. But I'm focusing on staying strong for the kids and getting through each day one step at a time. Update 2, final update. It's been almost a year since my first post, and 6 months since my last update. The divorce is finally finalized, and I feel like I can breathe again. We ended up selling the house and splitting the proceeds. It wasn't the outcome I wanted, but it was the fairest option. I bought a smaller home in the same school district, so the kids wouldn't have to deal with more upheaval. Anna is renting an apartment nearby. We've settled on a 60-40 custody split. I have the kids during the week, and Anna gets them every other weekend and 2 weeknights for dinner. It's not perfect, but it's working for now. Sophie and Noah have adjusted to the new normal, though they still have rough days. Therapy has helped, and I've seen some positive changes, especially with Sophie. Her grades have improved, and she's starting to smile more. Noah is slowly becoming more independent. As for me, I've focused on self-care. I've lost some weight, picked up a few hobbies, and even started dating again. Nothing serious yet, but it's nice to feel like I'm getting my life back. There's still a lot of healing to do, but I'm hopeful for the future. This whole experience has made me stronger, and I'm ready to move forward. Thank you all for your support over the last year. It's been a long, painful journey, but I'm finally seeing the light at the end of the tunnel. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed our stories and would like to hear more, please consider subscribing to our channel. Your support helps us continue bringing you captivating tales and new content every week. Don't forget to hit the notification bell so you never miss an update. We appreciate every one of you for being a part of our storytelling journey.